St. Paul Port Authority. Creating a better environment. Petroleum hydrocarbon, naphthalene, asphalt-derived organic compounds, diesel-range volatile organic compounds, a veritable cocktail of toxins that have been present in the soil and the groundwater for more than 100 years at the now abandoned Globe Industrial Site.
The cleanup plan for the site is to remove the contaminated soil, excavate it, and dispose of it properly in an appropriate landfill. Once the investigation and cleanup is conducted, then the Pollution Control Agency will issue liability assurances to the port that will help potential developers or parties coming in to build on the site know that the site meets environmental standards and it's ready for redevelopment given its planned land use.
Working under guidelines set by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency's brownfield programs and the guidance of law firms like Lindquist and Venom and environmental consultants Leash Associates, the St. Paul Port Authority tested the soil and groundwater and prepared a plan to remediate the site.
Well, this is a monitoring well, a groundwater monitoring well. We use it to collect groundwater samples, have them analyzed so we can assess the quality of groundwater at this point and at other points we have around the property here.
The plan calls for removing 40,000 cubic yards of contaminated soil for disposal in an off-site landfill. Hazardous chemicals and compounds still stored on the property will be removed. Even the tar that used to flow through the pipes will be disposed of off-site. All storage tanks above and under the ground, discarded machinery, and thousands of pounds of trash will be hauled away, and the building will be leveled. But removing the hazardous waste is just the beginning. Contaminated soil has to be removed and replaced with clean fill, all under the watchful eye of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency.
The U.S. EPA Brownfields program provides technical and financial assistance in the form of environmental assessment and cleanup grants. We also try to provide clarifications of liability for cleanup.
Another significant obstacle to redevelopment is the legal liability that comes with a property that was once contaminated by hazardous waste.
Every property the Port Authority buys in this program has hazardous substances on it and is contaminated. State and federal Superfund laws were passed in the 1980s, which require any buyer to clean up that contamination. We terminate Superfund liability under the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency's Voluntary Investigation and Cleanup Program, the VIC program. The Port Authority goes through the cleanup process and then wants to sell the land. They work through the VIC program. We make sure that the VIC program works and that these properties are cleaned up and that the legal liability is extinguished.
The improvements are more than surface deep. Cleaning the soil and removing the waste encourages businesses to locate within the city of St. Paul, near public transit routes and a ready workforce. This also helps reduce urban sprawl and the increased vehicle emission pollution that often accompanies it.
It really opens up the doors. A lot of businesses or development that would normally go to suburbs because they're clean sites, they haven't been developed, they haven't had any development in the past, now can come back to the inner city because it's been cleaned up through the program.
Clean, safe, sustainable. The St. Paul Port Authority, working together for the good of the community, the good of the environment.